Welcome to InTuneDeep Tarot. Thank you for tuning in. Felt like I had a message for the collective, and one card came out, which I'll share here. And I was like, you know what? Let me actually start to record. So maybe there's a message out for some of you, whoever of you come in contact with this message. There may be a message here for you. Thank you for tuning in. If you're looking for a personal reading, that information will be in the description box. But here we go. Some of you were in a connection where someone was wearing a mask and hiding their true feelings and hiding their true intentions, and there was something that sparked in a connection that made you feel like it is time to call this quits. That's why we also have the mask and the coffin here. Mask says hiding true feelings, pretending, delude, gaslight, personify. Someone showing up as very fake, trying to act like they love you and care about you, and it's false. This could be a romantic relationship. This could be a friendship. This could be family, but the connection actually isn't just about love and romantic. It can be a work relationship, but there's some sort of fakeness that you sniffed out, and here we are. The coffin says new beginnings, liberation, born and transition, tragic endings. So I feel like this was not an easy ending when it comes to this connection. I feel like a lot of you had a hard time saying goodbye, or it was something very hard in which you just had no choice but to say goodbye. And, you know, no ending is ever easy because, you know, connection seems to be very important with humans. We also have here girl with a snake. Charmed or used, enable, and boundaries. So this was something that took you for a loop. I'm feeling a very heavy energy here. And at the bottom of the deck, we have mirror. Mirroring each other, self-reflection, introspection, and inner wounds. Now, some would argue and say that the reason why we have some relationships that are tragic endings, we have relationships in which people are showing up with masks. We have people who come, charm us, use us, and run over our boundaries. And I think it's because they mirror something about our wounds, something about our attachment, something about the way we love. And it's supposed to teach us something. Not every connection is supposed to be long lasting, but a lot of times connection with humans for some reason seems like, this is my own theory, I'm no scientist, but it seems like when love is involved, it grabs the attention fully of humans, and you're so engulfed in it. Your mental, physical, emotional, all of those, spiritual, all of those things and aspects of ourselves are all engulfed in these feelings and in these connections. And a lot of times it helps us to evolve. And funny enough, we have this at the bottom of the deck, which is the butterfly. This says evolving and growth, next phase, healing the inner child, and releasing the past. So a lot of you are coming out of some connections, some jobs, relationships with dynamics, with, you know, family, the way you work, being too dedicated, giving too much in relationships, loving too hard, trying too hard. And this is something that's teaching you. If you're doing all the great things that one can do and offering all the great things in life to someone and being of support and loving someone the right way and being pretty much an angel on earth, what it's telling you is you need to take a look in the mirror. Take a look in the mirror and see what kind of people you're attracting, what kind of person you are and what that can teach you. It can tell you a lot about your love style. If you're familiar with the love styles, there's an anxious attachment, there's an avoidant attachment, and there's a secure attachment. And I think there may be some other ones that are, mixed between the three. Secure being the most healthy, being healthily attached, but also having a certain healthy level of detachment. And that's because a lot of times we, people who love really, really hard have an anxious attachment when it comes to love, and you love really, really hard because you don't want things to end. You don't want relationships to go bad, and so you'd rather do everything possible when the other person might not put in as much work or effort in that connection, but you're doing everything. That's a great example, or one example of an anxious attachment. I think a lot of us who have experienced something similar need to start with some self-indulgence. It is nothing wrong with being a little selfish. I think it's okay to be 1% selfish. A lot of people say you have to be whole and healthy yourself before you can help and love other people. You can't pour from an empty cup or a low cup. You have to fill your cup so you can pour into others. This self-indulgent card says self-worth and value, time to heal, shadow work, and self-appreciation. We have to put our needs into the equation as well. They are just as important as anyone else's. And we can't neglect ourselves just to make sure other people are happy and fulfilled, and completely neglect ourselves, because that is a form of self-hate, and it's also a form of self-neglect. And I think, a lot of us who have had upsets when it came to life, when it came to certain jobs, giving more than anyone else's just to prove your worth, it's a worth issue. And that's not to say that any of us is deemed to be worthless. It's just something that we need to take a deeper look at. And, after looking at some of those things, becoming more self-aware, only then we can enter into and attract better relationships, better friendships, better job situations, better careers, better interactions with other people, because essentially it is said that we teach people how to love us and how to respect us on how we carry ourselves. Let's see if we have any other cards that may come out. Ooh, a lot of healthy things are coming out. Speaking of which, healthy choices. Another self-indulgent card says self-love, self-care, being happier, love, and life. Being in that calm state, being in a state of making healthy choices when it comes to food, fitness, choosing better things, taking your time, having boundaries, and saying no to certain things that make you feel uncomfortable, and essentially not being a people pleaser because you don't want to offend anyone. You have to look out for yourself. No one is going to look out for you better than you will. And I think that is what the message is when it comes to this reading. It's all about making sure you're comfortable, making sure you are in a good emotion, a good vibration to attract the right things you need and the things you essentially, your heart and soul genuinely want. Now I'm going to grab an oracle card. I think I'm going to get an archetype card just to close out the reading. And I think I'm going to start doing some readings more like this, because not everything is always about love and connection. And a lot of times we need spiritual help and spiritual guidance and spiritual message, divine guidance and messages from above and from our Holy Spirit guides to kind of guide us through some of the things that we're going through in life, and to start fixing some of the things that need alignment, and also getting in the right vibration so that we can attract the right things and the beautiful things in life. And it's just a reminder that the divine truly wants what's best for us. A lot of times we can look at the divine, the universe, God, Allah, whatever you resonate with, we can really feel like, we're being punished in life. But I think a lot of times if we shift our perspective and realize that the punishments that we go through life, we can get away from those. Those are roadblocks trying to teach us and steer our ship, so to speak, in a different direction rather than it being punishment. So I think that that's another piece possibly that we need to be aware of. Things hurt, things bother us, things are painful, things are hard. Maybe it's time to change direction and shift. Let's get an archetype. The wild unknown archetype. Let's get an archetype for the collective. Let's see what comes out. All right, let's see what we have. We have the mirror. Oh my goodness. We were just talking about the mirror. How crazy is that the mirror pops up when we also have the mirror here? That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Let's see what this message says to close out our reading. Bear with me so I can go to the book and read the definition. The mirror, the reflection, the illusion, the looking glass. Speak to yourself gently and kindly in the mirror. It will feel awkward at first, but it is a sure way to become friends with yourself. For further reflections, read the poem I Am Not I by Juan Jimenez and Yoko Ono's Mirror piece in Grapefruit. Again, the 3 words says the reflection, the illusion, the looking glass. We look into mirrors every day without recognizing them as portals into another realm. They can shatter, flatter, distort, reflect, and project an image back to us that we deem to be true. The energy of the mirror is all about self-perception. When the archetype of the mirror appears, we are in the mythic land of Narcissus, who saw himself reflected in a pool and fell in love with his own image, so compelled by his reflection that he could not turn away, a fixation that eventually led to his death. Recognize the power and the danger of the mirror. It is a construct, one that may drive a shard between you and your true self. The mirror contains trickster energy. Put the phone down, stop with the comparisons, and let the mirror stand empty for a while. Rest with the one inside. When light, witnessing the deeper self, pure awareness. When dark, narcissism, comparison, and harsh edges. Go deeper. Yoyai Kusama's Infinity Mirror Rooms. I'm assuming that's a visual art that you can look up that will probably resonate with this. That's all I have for you today. We can all probably benefit from some mirror work, saying our affirmations in the mirror every day when we brush our teeth and wash our face, and we're in a mirror for a little bit of some time while in a bathroom. I think we are in a season where it is time to reflect. It is time to look at our inner self, our inner wounds, and to move forward. And I think that's the message today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're looking for a personal reading, please look in the description box and get that info. And please hit the like button and subscribe. And please share if you like this or like content like this. Share with your friends. I'm trying to grow my channel. We're looking to get monetized, so I would appreciate that. Thank you so much for tuning in, and God bless. We'll talk soon.